Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. And this week we had a battle of the Titans with the Apple and Microsoft events. Now, there was a lot that was going on in the Microsoft event. And the Apple's event just wrapped up today. And so I actually wanted to start with the Apple event first because the Microsoft event is going to take a little bit longer. So I just want to highlight the things that were really, I think, important in this Apple event. And with most Apple events, it's primarily iterative. Apple doesn't release a lot of new things every event. They're more iterative. Now, in this case, they did make an update to the MacBook Pro. And besides the normal spec bumps and the screen resolutions and everything else, the one thing that was really, really interesting here was their touch bar. People were speculating about this, and it is true. And what the touch bar is, it's basically an OLED strip above your keyboard, and it is basically a strip that allows additional functionality in a non-physical way. So this is very similar to the actual, like phones, the LG V20 or the LG V10 that basically, allows more functionality on the top bar. But obviously, this one is going to offer a way more functionality than you would get on the two phones that I just talked about. And I'm really digging this specific touch bar. I didn't really think it's going to be something of, that was really a game changer. But the way they showed it and the way that they add all this additional functionality, I really feel that this is something that will be useful and that other laptop manufacturers are definitely going to adopt. Okay. And yeah, it looks cool. I mean, it looks cool, but it's functional, and that's something that I really do like. That whenever these tech companies do add features, here's some more examples. When they do add features that actually make sense, that actually improve the user experience, then that's something I'm all for it. Like this emoji strip, I could see a lot of people using that. The function keys, well, that's normal, but I like the fact that you could switch it up. You could change things, and so I'm really interested to see how developers use this particular functionality, and I'm also interested to see how this will be adopted by other, maybe Windows laptops in the future that will use functionality similar to this, especially when it comes to customization. Now, it also has Touch ID as well, which isn't really anything new in the laptop space. However, this might be probably better than what we've been used to before. So, above that, there really isn't much new with the MacBook Pro, like I said, besides the spec bump. And, the MacBook Pros have always had amazing designs. So I really don't know how much more they can improve upon the physical design of it. The trackpad's amazing, a really awesome keyboard, and this touch bar definitely now adds a new wrinkle to it. Now, they also did have an additional new port, Lightning port 3, Thunderbolt 3 port, and, that's cool and everything. I just wish that they would have a USB Type C, that which is basically what all the other devices outside of Apple is using. But it's Apple being Apple, so if you want to use their devices, then and you're going to use their technology. So yeah, but other than that, I really didn't see anything else that was really just stuck out for me. Now, besides the actual MacBook Pro, they also released kind of like an update to Apple TV, and basically what it is actually just a TV app, TV OS. And I just didn't really see anything exciting or revolutionary on this. I really thought they were going to release a new Apple TV device, or maybe an upgrade, but that's not the case. And so, from what I could see, a lot of these features that they're adding, it's already been done on the Android TV Okay, and so that's why I wasn't really that excited about it. Okay, but if you are an Apple TV user, then this will be an improvement. Okay, so that was pretty much the Apple event for me. They really didn't announce anything really new in terms of something that is remarkably different. Okay, besides the touch bar, I thought that was really cool. Now, Microsoft's events was a whole different matter, and I was really surprised by this. Okay, so let's first start off with there's update to Windows 10. So they're gonna update this to Windows 10 creators, and this is really focused on 3D, VR, and 4K. And this is gonna be great for people who create content. Okay, because in this case, I really feel like Microsoft is they're heading to the right path with their operating system because they're going to introduce new features that will actually be relevant to content that's going to be produced in the next few years. So definitely think that's a really important update, and it makes a lot of sense. So more creativity, and they did it for a reason, as you see with the other products that they are releasing. So now another thing, speaking of VR, is they are releasing a VR headset that is actually super affordable. It's going to be $299. Now, what's different with this VR headset is they themselves are not going to be the one to build it. They're basically going to work with other partners like HP, Asus, and so forth to actually produce the VR headsets themselves. Now, what's unique about this is it has a 6 degree of motion, meaning that it doesn't just track your head movements, but you could move in space, in different spaces virtually, just using the headset alone. So what that means is that's not going to require you to have as much space in your environment as you would a HTC Vive or Oculus Rift or even a PlayStation VR. However, we don't know yet about the quality of the screen, so I'm not sure how good the experience will be versus, like I said, a HTC, Oculus, or even a PlayStation VR. But really good options for the future. And since a lot of people already are running Windows 10, this makes a lot of sense for Microsoft to get into VR without really getting into VR because they're not going to be making the device themselves. Okay, so let's move on to the stuff that really caught my eye. First and foremost, no doubt about it, is this brand new Surface Studio. This was a really awesome device. It is an all-in-one device. I'm normally not a big fan of that, but I could definitely see how, in this case, it's relevant for people who will use it, like designers, And I love this stand that they have, which elevates up and down, and it's really, for the word they use is elegant, and I would definitely agree with this. This is a really slick looking device. It works well with the pen, and it also comes with a brand new accessory. It is called the Surface Dial, and that is really cool. It reminds me of a dial on high-end luxury cars where you can control a lot of things with just the dial. Now, the Surface Studio is not going to be cheap. It starts at $3,000. However, it's probably geared towards primarily people in the design world, hence the new Windows 10 Creators Update. And for people who do design, $3,000 is within the range that they're going to pay anyway, because a lot of people who do design professionally, they will normally have some type of Apple products, and at that level, you're spending $3,000 is not a big deal for them because that's how much things cost around that area. So I was very impressed with this Microsoft, Studio product. I was very impressed. I really think that it's not only eye-catching and it has a beautiful screen, but I just think the design of it. I keep going back to that. I mean, I thought this would be something that Apple would create, but no, Microsoft did it. So kudos there. Very impressed. And now the other thing that they introduced was actually an upgrade to their Surface Book Pro line. And this is obviously a direct competitor to the MacBook Pro lines. However, Windows does offer you, or Microsoft offers you, additional features that obviously the Apple won't, such as an NVIDIA graphics card. You can actually detach the screen. Comes with a pen. So that's really cool. Now, it's a tablet and a computer at the same time, and it's pretty powerful. I mean, it's going to come either with an i5 or i7, and if I remember correctly, the pricing on these starts at $12.99, and you could also, $14.99, and you could also, I think, get it up to 2 terabytes, if I'm not mistaken. You can look at the configurations here. So yeah, it's a pretty cool machine, I'd have to say. If you do like that power line, and it doesn't look too much different from the previous Surface Book Pros. So yeah, so overall, I was very impressed by Microsoft's event. Usually, this is something reserved for Apple. People normally don't get that excited over Microsoft's events. They're usually, everybody's usually more interested in what's happening with Apple. And like I said, the one that just really blew me away is this Surface Studio. Well, Surface Studio over here. I was very impressed by this. Obviously, I wish there was a cheaper version because I would definitely get it and I would put Linux on top of it. So, yeah, really awesome. So, that's overall my thoughts on the two big events that happened this week, and something that was really not common. I mean, it's very rare that I've seen a Microsoft event that just blows me away, and this is something that was really unexpected. So, if you had any thoughts on these two events, the Apple event and the Microsoft event, be sure to leave them in the comments area below. And as always, if you did like these videos, you got a lot of value out of them, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget, I am on Snapchat at Geek Outdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.